Hello, friends. How are we doing? I hope you're doing well, and I hope you had a wonderful and safe new year. Welcome back to the first episode of the year, the annual recap episode. If you watched the last episode, then you might have been expecting me to share my thoughts on Sonic 3 today, and to be honest, I was going to, but the annual recap episode is always the first episode of the year, and I decided I wanted to keep that going. Hey there, movie lovers. Today, we're going to take a look back at the movies I watched in 2024, and as always, with very little success, I will try to make this episode as short as I can. This is your spoiler warning. I will put a countdown in the top left corner so you get a little bit of a heads up just in case you don't want anything spoiled. If you're still curious about my thoughts and opinions, but you want to avoid those spoilers, I do have spoiler-free episodes for 99% of the movies that I'm talking about here in this episode, posted on YouTube and the podcast over on Spotify. If you're new here, hi, Happy New Year. You can usually catch me talking about movies that I've seen in theaters. I also post those episodes to the podcast. Once in a while, I will also drop a podcast exclusive, and those are for movies that I watched at home. New episodes drop every Friday, so hit that subscribe button and follow the podcast on Spotify to stay updated. As always, you can check out the timestamps in the description below to jump straight to the sections that you're most interested in. We're going to take a look at the highest grossing films of 2024, my picks for the worst and the best movies of the year, in my opinion, my favorite movies of the year, and then we're going to finish this episode up with the movies that I'm looking forward to in 2025. With that all out of the way, get comfortable, and let's get into today's annual recap episode. Starting us off, the heavy hitters at the box office. These are the 10 highest grossing movies of 2024. This list is from Slash Film, and it was published on December 28th. Coming in at number 10, we have Beetlejuice. Was this a perfect movie? No. Did I have fun watching it in theaters? Yes. Number 9, Venom: The Last Dance. I did not do a video on this movie. I think at the time of release, I just had a lot going on mentally, emotionally, and at work. Plus, I wasn't super inspired at the time to make a video on this one, to be perfectly honest with you guys. So I'm just gonna rapid fire my thoughts real quick. All of the Venom films are silly, but they're fun. Are they the best movies? No. Are they some of the best films the SSU has to offer? Actually, yeah, I think so. If you set the bar high for Venom 3, you're going to be disappointed. It is not better than Venom, in my opinion, but if the bar is low, like Let There Be Carnage low, then this is a fun movie. There were a lot of exciting things happening, but it was predictable and it just wasn't a very strong movie. Coming in at number 8, we have Kung Fu Panda 4. We will talk about this one more a little bit later in the episode. Number 7, Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. Thick American Godzilla and Big Monkey punching each other and also punching an assortment of other giant monsters. I am always sat for these movies. Number 6, Wicked. We are still holding space. Number 5, Dune Part 2. This is such a fantastic movie. Coming in at number 4, Moana 2. I did not watch this one because I read that it was supposed to be a series, then they just decided to turn it into a movie. And that clearly worked out for them because according to Screen Rant, it has passed 900 million doll hairs as of this week. Coming in at number 3, Despicable Me 4. I did not watch this one either. Coming in at number 2, Deadpool and Wolverine. I love this movie so much. The theatrical experience I had was awesome. And coming in at number 1, Inside Out 2. I did do a podcast episode for this one back in September, and I actually enjoyed this movie. It's predictable, but it's a really solid follow-up, and I love the new characters. Now, let's talk about some movies that I wanted to see, but I didn't. These are movies that I thought looked interesting, but I was either watching something else in theaters at the time of its release, I just didn't get to it in time, or they went to streaming by the time I was able to go to the theater. In no particular order, Werewolves. This movie looks hilarious. I love werewolves and practical effects. This one looked like it was gonna be a fun watch. Not a perfect movie, but a good time. Y2K. I honestly wasn't interested in this movie at all. I also didn't see any promo for it. I saw promo images of the cast on TikTok, And I love how they captured the 90s look, but I honestly didn't even look into it at the time until it came out in theaters. That's when I finally looked up a trailer, and this one actually looked like a lot of fun. Again, not a fantastic movie, but a good time. I saw The TV Glow. I think this one flew under the radar for me. I saw people here and there talking about it on TikTok, but that was basically it. Looking at it now, it definitely seems like something I would be interested in, and I remember the people I saw talking about it on TikTok, they all had good things to say about it. The Substance. This one, I honestly just haven't had the chance to watch, but my sister did send me a whole text message telling me that I need to check this one out. I plan on watching it soon, so keep a lookout for a podcast exclusive episode on this one. Strange Darling. This is another one that flew under the radar. I saw a trailer and then completely forgot about it when it came out. Looking at it again, this one looks really interesting. The cast and the premise have my attention, so I'm definitely adding this one to the watch list. Woman of the Hour. I was really interested in seeing this one. Anna Kendrick's directorial debut about a woman who crosses paths with a serial killer during an episode of a dating show. I saw so many positive reviews on this movie when it was released. A lot of people really praised Anna Kendrick's skill as a director and her ability to capture the horror of a woman crossing paths with a serial killer. And finally, The Watchers, Ashana Night Shyamalan's directorial debut. I was interested because the trailers look pretty good, something that I would be interested in. I also love Dakota Fanning. Now, from the movies I missed in theaters to ones that I wished I skipped entirely. Here are my picks for the worst movies of 2024, along with some movies that should have been better. For the sake of time, we're gonna speed through these movies. I have episodes for all of them on YouTube and Spotify if you'd like to know more. For the worst movies of the year, we have Madam Web and Kraven the Hunter. I don't think I need to explain. I did not watch The Crow, but I feel like it would have rounded out this list very well. On to movies that should have been better. Out of Darkness. I listened to my episode on this one again, and I was so vague because I wanted to avoid spoilers. Here it is. It should have been monsters. I thought going into this movie, it was giving Wendigo. I thought we were going to get a mythical creature, a folklore spirit. Not exactly like the Wendigo, but something of that nature or an entirely new creature. Then they started eating people. I thought we were going to get it, but it turns out it was just people. I think if it was a creature or a monster situation, the movie would have been better, in my opinion. Kung Fu Panda 4, overall, a disappointment. I love these movies so much, and this one was just watered down and not as strong as the previous 3 installments. The focus shifting from Poe and excluding the Furious 5 was a weird move that made this movie feel more like a TV series or a spinoff. The Strangers Chapter 1. They changed some things. I meant to listen back to this episode too, but I did skim the script. My biggest issue was the assumed motivation of the killers. The whole "because you're here" line really changed a lot and diminished part of the horror, in my opinion, of simply being targeted just because you are home. This movie could have been completely avoided if they just didn't stop for food, right? Anyway, I'm still hoping with the next 2 movies, it's all just gonna come together, and I'll look back at this episode and laugh because I was wrong. And finally, Twisters. Glenn Powell, the jump scare that you are. Moving to a positive note, I want to talk about my picks for the best movies of the year. Nothing to do with how much money it made at the box office. This is just my opinion for the best movies based on what I watched and what I like. I'm also going to speed run through these because some of these movies actually make it onto the next list. In my opinion, these are the best movies of 2024. I also feel like it's worth mentioning that this list kept changing up until I actually sat down to start recording. In no particular order: Dune Part 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, Monkey Man, Alien Romulus, Transformers 1, The Wild Robot, Wicked, Nosferatu, A Quiet Place Day 1, Abigail, Immaculate, and Late Night with the Devil. While those were my picks for the best movies of 2024, these are the movies that I fixated on. I am obsessed, or I was obsessed with them for months after watching. I couldn't stop thinking about them. I just want to keep watching them over and over and over again, and they have me excited for future installments. If you haven't seen some or any of these movies, I would highly recommend watching them if you're interested in the franchise, the genre, the director, or an actress or actor in the movie. These are my favorite movies of 2024. Dune Part 2. I actually really enjoyed the first Dune, but there was a lot of establishing the world and politics, which I enjoy, but let's be real, it was a lot. Part 2 was the good stuff, the stuff I like, the action, and expanding on the world they built in the first one. I love the acting in this movie, and I love the look of it. I really love where the story's going, and I can't wait for Part 3. Monkey Man. This movie is incredible. I love the acting, I love the music, I love the colors, and I love the rich culture that's woven into this film. Alien Romulus. I still love this movie. It's been a while since it's come out, and I still don't like some things, but overall, this is an awesome movie. I love the xenomorphs, and I love that this franchise continues to surprise us. Transformers 1. Excellent, amazing, beautiful. I love this movie. I remember the annual recap episode for 2023, and this was one of my most anticipated films of the year, and I remember being so excited about Bumblebee because he was able to talk. It's funny because I honestly think he dragged the movie down from time to time. There was some real humor there. I did laugh. But overall, I just wasn't a fan. I'm gonna start ranting, but I love this movie and I hope they're gonna do a sequel. The lore is so vast, they can make unlimited films. But as of December 2024, there is no official confirmation of a sequel. Back in September 2024, they did say that they would do one if the film was successful, but apparently it did underperform at the box office, which honestly is a real bummer because I really think that they marketed this movie wrong. Okay. Let's move on before I start ranting again. Smile 2. I love these movies so much. I bought Tora merch and I listen to Sky Riley's music all the time. I had so much fun watching this movie. I was actually so scared too, you guys. I had a nightmare that woke me up in the middle of the night. Yeah, the acting overall is outstanding and Naomi Scott's singing is it's so good. I love the blood, I love the guts, and of course I love the twists and I love the ending of this movie. Next is Wicked. And if you guys watched the episode I posted on that one, I did end up getting the vinyl for Christmas, you guys. I am obsessed with this movie. I love the story, I love the characters, and it's like every day I'm seeing a TikTok that further delves into the characters, the story, and the lyrics, and it makes me appreciate Wicked so much more. Sonic 3. These movies have a special place in my heart, and it just goes to show what we can accomplish when we bully a studio into changing ugly Sonic. Last on the list is Nosferatu, which is everything. I will have episodes posted for Sonic 3 and Nosferatu soon, so stay tuned. Before I let you guys go, I want to talk about my most anticipated films of 2025. Last year, my list was pretty long and I had to shorten it. To no one's surprise, I did cut the list down again, not that you can tell. It's a long list, but we're going to speed through it, so it's okay, right? It's okay. In no particular order. Presents, Love Hurts, The Monkey, Sinners, Thunderbolts, Lilo and Stitch, Ballerina, How to Train Your Dragon, 28 Years Later, Jurassic World Rebirth, Superman, The Fantastic Four First Steps, Freakier Friday, Saw 11, Tron Ares, Predator Badlands, Now You See Me 3, and Wicked for Good. Now these are movies that have no release date, but I'm looking forward to them when they do eventually come out. Frankenstein. And you guys know how I feel about Guillermo del Toro. There's going to be a new Knives Out movie. And Until Dawn. You guys don't understand how I feel about that. I also want to take a moment because we were also supposed to get Blade this year, but we're not. It's okay. It's fine. We're fine. I'm fine. Honorable mentions: Final Destination Bloodlines, Megan 2.0, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, The Conjuring: Last Rites, The Black Phone 2, Mortal Kombat 2, Companion, and The Strangers Chapter 2. All right, movie fans, we made it to the outro. As always, a huge thank you to everyone who has stuck around with me to the end of today's episode. We looked back at the bad and the good of 2024, and I also let you guys know some of the movies that I'm looking forward to in 2025. What are you guys looking forward to this year? What movies should I add to my list? What were your favorite and least favorite movies of 2024? Of the movies I missed out on last year, or maybe ones that I didn't list that you liked, let me know which ones are worth checking out. Your feedback is always appreciated, so let me know all of your picks in the comments. Let's get a New Year conversation going. If you enjoyed this look back at 2024, don't forget to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell for more movie talk. If you prefer on-the-go listening, then you should check out the podcast on Spotify, especially so you don't miss out on those podcast exclusives, and tune in every Friday for new episodes. And hey, if you're on Instagram, follow me at A.Rocket.Review to read my reviews. Yes, I'm going to start posting again, and for more updates. 2024 was somehow a lot, but it's been so much fun and honestly, just a little bit more manageable. So thank you all so much for watching and taking the time out to comment. I am so grateful for your support. Here's to another fantastic year of movies in 2025. Until next time, spread positivity, be safe, take care of yourself, happy movie watching, happy holidays, and happy new year. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.